Episode 1 New Beginnings. I don't expect this to go anywhere or be anything. However, I figured what's a better way to get things out and grow than to just talk and put it out there in case anybody does ever see it. Anybody that needs to see it or feels the same way and just wants to join along for a journey that could go somewhere or may just stay in the same old place like it has. So, I guess we'll just start simply and get to know each other and just move from there. So, my name's Ryan. I am 20 years old, and it is December 17th, 2025. See, I try to hold a lot of things in, and it becomes a lot to have to hold so many things in when part of you wants to just let it all out. And as I get older, I begin to think more about the future and what can come. And I think that's with everybody, no matter the age, you always tend to think about tomorrow and the day after and next month and next year, and you get so wrapped up in what will come and what may be that you forget to think about now and what is now and where you are. And something that I struggle with a lot is just holding on to the past a lot. And I think it's, a mix of so many things, grief mixed with nostalgia and just good memories and bad memories and all of the above, because I think that in a sense it's what makes us human, is to love and cry and yearn and just feel, because I think everything can feel in a particular sense. And so I'm starting this channel and this journey, I guess, to just get things out and clear my mind. And if anybody ever watches and they feel similar, I hope that we can take a path together to try to become more than what we are now. See, I met this girl when I was about 13 years old, and my God, I don't think I have the proper words to describe what I seen in this girl, and even to this day what I see in this girl. And from 13 to 19, maybe late 18, early 19, I spent with her, and there were so many major life choices and moves that you make during them crucial years in your life, and I spent mine all with her. And so I say this to be vulnerable so other people can know, anybody watching can know that it is okay to open up about this stuff and feel this stuff. And so the things that I experienced in that relationship, the good and the bad, it's things that after all that time I wouldn't trade for the world. And of course I'm sure that there's people out there that have experienced similar, but everybody's got their own experiences and their own relationships that they've dealt with, and no two people's situations are going to be exactly the same. So within that, I think you can take the fact of knowing that whether it was good or whether it was bad, you experienced a one in a lifetime situation that allowed you to love that girl and cherish that girl in a way that only you were at the time. And I think something that a lot of us have to learn to adjust to is that sometimes things just aren't going to go your way, and you have to be okay with change. And change in a way can be terrifying, and at the same time can be happy, because change can include a new promotion at work, or getting a new car, moving to a new house, and all can be scary while all can be happy as well. And it more so just becomes a mindset thing of where do you allow the happiness and the fear to take place. And so I think within that, you have to be grateful for the opportunities that you're given, and for the time that you get to spend with people you love, or people that you dislike, or anybody at all, family, friends, partners, teachers, coworkers, managers, anybody. You have to be grateful for the time that you spend with anybody, because even the worst possible memory you have in your mind, whether it be from dealing with somebody or hearing about somebody, or doesn't have nothing to do with anybody at all, the one thing that you always take away is that you learned something. And knowing that you learned something should mean a lot to you, because every situation is a learnable situation. And so if you can learn to take the good out of the bad, if you can say, I love that girl, but our time was up, or that was my best friend, but me and him had different life paths, if you can understand to accept and adapt to things, it can make life itself easier. And that's still something that I myself am battling with currently. And so I think a big reason for wanting to make this channel to talk to people is just, to read comments, to maybe it takes 10 videos before I get a view and a comment, but maybe that one comment could spark a conversation that could be, altering to mine and said person's thought process or path in life, And so I tend to sit around a lot and dwell on, where did I go wrong, and what could I have did better to not have lose the girl that I think about every day. But the real sad reality to it is just that sometimes people fall out of love, and it's a bittersweet thing because it's not a set in stone thing. I mean, people get married and divorced every day, and people live and people die, and people make mistakes. And I think that is a huge problem within my generation because mistakes are looked at as, one and done. You should have never did this. It's not, and that's not, nothing about that's realistic because at at 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old, or even pushing beyond that at 21 or 22 or 23 or 20, or, going farther, going to 60, 61, 70, 80 years old. Everybody that is currently living, no matter what age you are, no matter what race, no matter anything at all, it's our first time here. And we are all learning together. And I think sometimes people hold others to such a high standard, so it's hard for anybody to be okay with setting themselves out there. And I find that silly that the standard is set so high that you've taken, girls or guys that will block out the love that they want or that they need because of what society deems acceptable. And I lost this girl, and I think about her all the time, and I try to find ways to stay in her life, and I know how selfish it is, and whether she's doing it to be nice or because something in her pulls the same way. But when I message, she responds, and as terrible as I know it is, I sometimes just can't help myself from doing it. And I think we all have little habits like that, something like biting your nails or vaping or drinking or whatever your vice might be. But it's just something that deep down, hey, I shouldn't do this. It's bad for my body or my health or my mental health, my brain, my emotions. It's just, I know it's bad, but I can't stop doing it. Something in me won't allow me to stop, and it's honestly a major lack of self-control. But again, when it's our first time experiencing and living and going through these things, they're so big. And so yeah, maybe in 10 years or 20 years you'll look back and you'll say, how silly was I to think that something that happened at 16, 17, 18 was the end of the world. How silly was it to sit for years and years and dwell on what could have been or what I did have and not on what I could have. And it's easy to say that now, but it's also okay to feel what you feel, and to allow that, to feel that, is just human. And so with that all, I think you have to learn to be more acceptful of yourself and of your peers. And I think we all need to learn how to better accept everybody. And that's something I myself still am battling with, because we all have habits and preferences and things that we prefer, that we like, but I think sometimes it's healthy to take a step back and say, is my preference coming from a good place, of a this is just something I simply preference, and something that I dislike, and not that it's just like a mind thing, but you have to look at it more as, is this something that I'm turning away because of a past experience that I've had, or this is something I was taught, and so I turn this down because I was taught that it's wrong. And I even now I think it's just more a factor of what do we decide to go and do from where we're at now, because we choose who we are and what we do and what we allow. And in that, I think you have to think about yourself more often than not, because anybody that's listened to this far and has related to me at all, I assume, just like myself, you probably tend to worry about what goes on around, what this person thinks, or if I do this, what will this person say, and things along that line, things that truly in 5 or 10 years won't matter. If 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 you love somebody, and you want to be with them, and they want to be with you, but you allow the fear of society, or the fear of what your parents might say, or what your peers, your friends, your coworkers, what if you allow that to be a hinder in what you truly want, then you're not giving yourself the full life that you deserve. And that's something that I've been trying to come to terms with. And so, as sad as it is to say and think about, sometimes I tend to talk to um I'll talk to AI. I will ask like chat GPT questions that you would normally ask a friend. And by me saying that, I am sure you could assume why. And I feel as if now, in the generation where everybody says that it's supposed to be the easiest to make friends and find a partner, that I think it may be one of the hardest. I think that implement of social media and just social life and technology as a whole, I think them implementing that into our everyday lives have, in a way, kind of hurt the people that, truly try to go out there, because you may meet somebody, you may talk to somebody, and think that this is the person, but because they don't see you as what they believe you should be seen as what society says that they should be with, or maybe their friends say, well, look at you and then look at him. And I think that society and technology has stunted the meaning of love and relationships in our generation. So to say it how it is, I think we all could just use a reset. And I think that this is something that I will continue to do, and I see this as being something that I could actually quite enjoy, just being able to talk. And farther on, I want to get more into depth about me and things that I deal with. I just don't want to overbear on the first episode, so I apologize if everything I've been saying just sounds like a jumbled mess, because I'm not going to be the person that writes down things to talk about, or tries to make a list and say, hey, I need to talk about this. It's just gonna be more of what comes to mind, and what what am I feeling today that I should mention. And so I think to start here, and a place like this makes for the beginning of something, as I titled the world, A New Beginning. And I hope that I can journey along and meet people, and hopefully help people and help myself all at once. And so, with all that being said, I think this is the start of new beginnings, and I hope that anybody that's watching this, I hope that you come back, and if you don't, I hope that everything eases, and that all in our own way we can heal whatever we're dealing with, and we can move on and live happy, free lives. Until next time.